begin.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my show. I'm Dr. Lot from Acupuncture is My Life. Now in this episode, I'd like to discuss the top 6 killers of sex drive as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. But before I discuss these 6 sex drive killers, I'd like to first suggest that you go to www.acupunctureismylife.com and register for the Acupuncture is My Life newsletter to learn more about acupuncture, Chinese herbs, Eastern nutrition, and more. Now back to the topic at hand. You see, over the past few weeks, I've enjoyed discussing this topic with over 400 people via chat sessions on the Acupuncture is My Life app. And FYI, if you're ever interested in private chat sessions where you can ask questions regarding acupuncture and how it can be of benefit to you or a loved one, simply download the Acupuncture is My Life app from the Google Play Store. Now, I've taken the time to place in order these top 6 sex drive killers as a result of this pandemic and in order from what was considered the lesser of concern relative to my chat audience to most concerning. And the number 6 sex drive killer of this pandemic, I found out, was anger. Now, in this case, anger can cover frustration, irritation, feeling aggrieved as a result of losing your job or business, facing or having been evicted from your home, unable to feed your family as well as yourself, and so on. Now, long-term anger can have a negative effect on the liver when it comes to Chinese medicine, and it could cause stagnation of liver qi or stasis of liver blood, where compromised circulation of liver qi and or liver blood can temporarily destroy a person's sex drive. Now, number 5 was worry. Now, worry is a huge sex drive killer because the last thing we as humans tend to think about is passionate moments when we're full of worry. Now, relative to the present circumstance, many are worried about how they can keep a roof over their heads and or will they be able to get off of unemployment before it runs out? Will the government pass some sort of stimulus to hold them over until they find a job? Worry has been found to be one of the most common causes of disease in many developed societies. Now, worry in Chinese medicine tends to stagnate qi of the lungs and spleen, which are your major organs in Chinese medicine for the formation of qi. Now, no qi equals no sex drive. Now, number 4 is pensiveness, which is pretty much the same as worry in both effect and character. A pensive person tends to brood or constantly think of certain events or the effects of an event on themselves. Now, in this case, many people find themselves constantly brooding over how the present COVID-19 pandemic has had an effect on their lives and what can they do to adjust their present situation. Now, some individuals may not be too worried about the effects because they may still have their jobs or they may still be financially sound, but they still have some sort of constant, intense thought of the effects in which this pandemic has had on their social life. Now, pensiveness can affect your appetite. It can cause abdominal discomfort or tiredness. See, in Chinese medicine, pensiveness can stagnate qi of the spleen and lungs as well as the heart. Now, all 3 organs play a huge role in the creation and circulation of blood, and deficiencies in this area can severely impede your desire for sex. Now, number 3 is sadness and grief, which negatively affects both the lungs and the heart in Chinese medicine. Now, during this pandemic, some of us have unfortunately lost a loved one or someone close to us in some manner or another as a result of having been infected by this virus. Now, in Chinese medicine, the heart is the primary organ affected as a result of sadness, whereas the lungs become affected secondarily because both organs reside in the upper jiao area and function together in representing the output functions of this area of the body. Now, sadness in this case tends to dissolve qi, whereas when it comes to sex drive and this emotion, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together to figure that one out. Now, number 2 is fear. Now, in this case, fear encompasses anxiety as well. Now, as an adult, our responsibilities in life cover a huge gamut of things, from simply being responsible for just ourselves to having to care for our children, parent or parents, sometimes even our spouses as well as our grandchildren. What happens when you're faced with a great deal of uncertainty in which you never experienced before as a result of this pandemic? Imagine being faced with not knowing what tomorrow will bring while having so many people depending on you, and you've lost your job or your health has become compromised as a result of having been infected with this virus, and are afraid of how this may impact someone who totally depends on you for their existence. You see, in Chinese medicine, fear depletes kidney qi and causes qi to descend, which can present with incontinence or even diarrhea in some cases. Now, do we need to expand on sex drive in this case? Now, before I get to number one, I would first like to recommend you subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on new episodes uploaded to this channel, as well as ask any questions or comment on this topic in the comment section below. Now, number one is shame. Now, I have to say, shame can be a cause for many diseases if we become overwhelmed with it. Since the start of this pandemic, many are overcome with shame as a result of possibly becoming homeless or not being able to properly care for oneself due to sudden economic impoverishment. Some are unable to repay personal debt or simply pay their bills. Sex drive is totally out the window in this case. Now, shame in Chinese medicine can stagnate qi of the heart, spleen, and kidneys, as well as cause qi to sink in the spleen and kidneys, which can lead to the formation of internal dampness. Now, from a Western medicine standpoint, all 6 of these emotional disorders can take the human organism from a parasympathetic state, which is basically a state of relaxation, rest, and digest, to a sympathetic state, which prepares the body for fight or flight. And sex drive in this case, done. Now there you have it, my top 6 COVID-19 killers of sex drive. Now don't forget to download the Acupuncture is My Life app from the Google Play Store. And until next time, acupuncture is my life. What's yours?